Parks and Recreation Commission. Today is Thursday, May 19th at 7:04 p.m. First up, we have the approval of the minutes. These were emailed out by Secretary Spencer earlier, and they're also here in the packet.
I'll make a motion.
Motion on the floor to approve.
One point, correction. On the pool part, should it be splash pad instead of splash park?
Where's that at? I'm sorry.
That would
Probably.
be 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth paragraph down under new business.
It probably should say splash pad. We can change that.
Any other corrections noted?
I'll second.
Okay, the motion is still on the floor and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against? The motion does carry. Next we have public comment. Since we'll need to vote on your all's matter, if it's okay, we'll keep you all for new business. Anyone here from the public? That being said, we're to our finance report.
General account has $11,958.37. Pool account, $1,362.
Of course, as you all can see there, the full report. Is there a motion to approve the financial report as presented? There's a motion on the floor by Mr. Roberts.
Second.
Who did that?
Mary.
Mary.
Seconded by Mrs. Spencer. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those against? The motion does carry. Shouldn't be any committee reports, so manager's report.
Mine's short and sweet. It looks like we ain't been doing nothing, but we've been running like crazy. The bathrooms at the Little Lake and the barn have been finished. The new toilets on the woman's side at the barn didn't have enough pressure to flush, so they were taken out and put at the pool, and the old ones will be put back in. Mowing and weed eating is overtaking most of the time. We've been filling in holes around the roadways and stuff, trying to get those fixed. All the weed eaters have been serviced and are working good. The pressure washer now works.
Great.
So, the grant that we put in for the pool at Mount Nebo St. Patty's Day Parade, we received $1,000 for. Bathrooms at the pool are finished. The water lines in the filter room and the pool have been fixed. Do you want me to keep going with that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Once those were set up and the water was added, the pump turned on, it didn't want to turn. So we had James Corbett with the city come out and he adjusted it. And then when they kicked it back on, well, he said wait till the next day. So we went in at 8, kicked it on, and he said check it every hour. So we went back about 5:09 or something and it wasn't running. It had kicked the breaker. So we turned it off, and Trainer went and kicked the breaker and come back in, flipped it on, and fire shot out of it. So, James Corbett had do you know who they are? The company?
I don't think
Is it Dawson Richwood?
I believe so.
Well, I don't.
Boss Electric?
I think it was an actual pump company.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know who the call was.
Well, they
Dawson
do
worked
that.
it once, and then the other time I
Awesome.
sent it to Charleston. To
Well, it's
somebody.
gonna
Rewind the motor, is that what you want?
Yeah, they gotta do that.
They got to rebuild the inside of the motor.
I say they do that. I don't know, it's Boss Electric in it.
Yeah.
I
That's
thought Dawson had it, but
I don't know.
No, it's Sigler.
I don't know.
And Sigler's got it now, I mean, he bought it all.
But they're supposed to have it back Monday and install it, so hopefully everything's good to go. They're working on the concession stand area now, and the internet's been hooked up for the square system. James has officially moved out of the house. You you want me to?
What is it?
I said, James has officially moved out. Do you wanna handle the rest of that one?
I mean, I don't care to. We found a little bit of an infestation of cockroaches in the house, so we did, as the board text will show and everybody saw, had to call an exterminator for 3 treatments, and that hopefully that will take care of that. He checked the surrounding close buildings, said there was not any signs, so that's good. But before it spread, that was something definitely we needed to handle as soon as possible, so.
Yes. We put up 2 of the new lights, one on the front of the dining hall and one on the pole right in front of it today. So we'll see if they work this evening. And we started emptying out the Craigfield cabin.
Oh, yay.
So it can be worked on. And that's all I got.
Any questions for the manager? Hearing none, any unfinished business? I guess this will technically be unfinished because we did talk about it in the group text. The pump expense was estimated by Mr. Corbett to be $1,500 to $1,600. And so if we could just have a motion, I mean, it's a necessary expense. But if there's a motion that could be made to approve that expenditure, so whenever we do get the pump ready, we go ahead and pay for it and get it back and put in and all that good stuff.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, the motion's on the floor by Mrs. Spencer,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Roberts. Any further discussion or questions on that matter? And that's a lot cheaper than what was it last year, $8,000 or something? Yeah, that's right. So we're going down. I just hope that eventually we'll have to keep doing this every year. That being said, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. Anything else for unfinished business? Under new business, Miss Hillary contacted me at the courthouse and did provide me with copies of previous audits. What was the last year, Sally? I can't remember off the top of my head. Was it
17, 18, and 19.
So
That's what
19.
she brought.
So we are caught up much more than I thought we were, and so I'll gladly retract my statements before that they were not done for a multitude of years. So rather, we're just behind now. We'll have to pay for this year too. It'll be 20 and 21. And so, I mean, of course, I talked to Clerk Painter today. He gave me a list, which I'll provide to Sally, and it's state-approved accounting firms that we have to contact, and we just have to receive 3 bids from this list of like 40. I mean, they're all over West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Virginia, all over. I mean, we can try and stay as close as we can if that's the board's wish. You know, it's usually my preference, but I don't have a major preference on this. But just want to make sure that, you know, myself and Sally had permission to go ahead and solicit for those bids, and then hopefully we'll have them before next meeting.
Have you already done that?
I have not. That's what I'm asking permission for, and then hopefully before next meeting we'll have somebody
You
ready
have to do it, don't you?
Right,
You won't get that many back without it.
right. That's kind of a concern of ours too, because usually the state auditor was at the courthouse doing the commission's audit today, and they were telling me that usually this is done December and January. And so we are behind the curve on getting an auditor in place. So, okay. I've got other things, but what else in new business, then I can get back to my list.
So is that new business?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
sorry.
thinking that was all. Okay.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
How is the pool getting along? I mean,
Mary and Johnny, her assistant manager, and Sally and Crandall have all done a good job keeping the water, chemicals, and everything in balance. But without the pump, it's getting harder and harder with the warm temperatures. And so far, they have kept all of their levels. I don't know anything about pools. All their levels in check.
I was over there today. So far, we don't see any algae.
Yeah. And like they're keeping it swept and
That's pretty
stuff, so nothing's getting really pulled out. There was one spot of like, I think they call it red algae, but they immediately hit it and was able to stop it before it could spread. So hopefully we'll get that pump Monday, Tuesday and just get her circulated.
We said a lot, because it's hard to keep under control when we don't have a pump running.
That's what everybody was
When
saying.
the sun is shining in warm weather. it's
Yeah,
hard.
no kidding.
What else?
4-H.
Yes.
In preparation for camp, 2 things. We're looking at possibility of putting Wi-Fi down at the 4-H building. One of our meetings back, I don't remember if it was December or January, there was a gentleman that came and talked about it. He talked more of having it like public access, which is not what I would be looking at. I'd be looking at like the dining hall pretty much has password, somebody has a password if they share it, whatever. But, so just checking into seeing with what the dining hall has, what the options may be for the 4-H building, because of course, just like the dining hall, that gives you an extra asset to be able to advertise with renting at the 4-H building. But I don't know how that would work. If we can tie into what's already existing here and just put another router down there, or if we have to do a whole new system, wiring, I have no clue. So just what the Parks Board's thoughts are of putting Wi-Fi down at the 4-H building.
Sally, does the dining hall have internet? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So, does it have its own router and everything, I guess, just?
Yeah.
Now, does the 4-H already have phone lines? It does not. So the dining hall's probably the, what about the manager's house?
It does. It did.
Okay.
It still does.
Be closer from the house.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could probably get the Frontier, whoever, run a line on the poles to the building.
Yeah, I have no idea how that would work exactly. That's so how would we want to do it?
Are you saying
Who is
4-H is
who you
doing that, or
got?
you want the park to do that? I'm just trying to.
Just,
Who you have?
we're just exploring it right
I think
now to see
Frontier's
what
only
the options would be.
invested
Okay,
in
would it be
the park
something
right
that it
now.
would be like a 50-50 split?
Okay.
Or if it
That-
just
yeah,
comes
that's,
from
already
the park and then it's added into our rental fee for the building? And
Okay,
then it's
okay,
added into the rental fee for anybody that uses
Here.
the building,
Let's see
however we
Craig
want to
will-
work it.
Okay.
Same way you do it with dining hall.
Well, the way it is, they have it unless they ask, they have it unless they ask for it.
Exactly, you do the same with the 4-H building.
Inside.
No.
So you've only got Frontier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had, when I lived there before, I had called them to see about if they were TV
Thank you.
cable or something. And because they had one house back there, they wouldn't do it.
Then he's gonna put the time in. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
So if that's something that the park would be interested in, I can work with Sally and see what the different options may be for pricing and then decide from there.
Yeah,
If it's something that we want to do, like the dining hall where it's there and it's
Everybody
just
has
built
to
into
have
the.
Wi-Fi.
Anymore, you have to.
Hey, you have to have it.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, and another point too, not only for 4-H's benefit, but now that the kitchen and everything's been remodeled, it's to the health department standard of actually being rented out as a public kitchen or whatever the title is. And so, I don't see a problem with it at all. Like I said, that's a good idea though, to start with your pricing and see what our options are.
When's the camp?
Our camp is the end of June. Yeah, so that very last week, the 26th through the 1st of July.
And you're getting another one too, aren't you? Is it Lincoln County
Are
or?
we getting Lincoln?
No,
Not this year.
no, but he hopes to be back next year, so.
Oh, that'd be
He looks forward to seeing all of our upgrades.
Oh, good.
The other thing is that with 4-H camp using the park as our campgrounds, we are considered a closed campus under WVU rules, guidelines, things, which means that being a closed campus, we can't have any public coming onto our grounds without us knowing. So typically what we've done in the past, we've closed the gates and people have to sign in and sign out at the dining hall so they don't enter. So we're to help with that, because we've had problems in the past where, because people are so used to walking through the loop, that they still want to walk that. And so helping them understand that, we're getting 2 signs with all of our jargon that we have to have from WVU that we'll post on the front gate and then on the back gate as well, telling them it's a closed campus, visitors are only allowed for these reasons, please check in, check out at the dining hall. So I wasn't sure if the park wanted some of that wording to post on their Facebook page or any place that they wanted to help advertise that for that week from Sunday to Friday to help support that it's a closed campus and this is why you can't do your usual walking loop.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The last thing I had is the water heater in the 4-H building. The leaders have some disagreements, reservations, issues with its placement. Originally, when the bid and the list was given to the contractor, it was the leader's understanding that the water heater would be placed in the new mop sink area that was built on the back side of the kitchen sink area. The storage room that's on the other side of that, if you're familiar with the 4-H building, was 2 storage rooms. The 4-H leaders requested that the wall between those be removed to increase storage space. There is a copper pipe that comes right out in the middle of the floor and then goes up into the ceiling that wall kind of protected, but the plan for the leaders was to put a shelving unit there. So, well, initially the plan was for that pipe to be moved, but it turned out the pipe couldn't be moved. So we were just going to put a shelving unit there anyway, whether the pipe moved or not, so we could increase our storage space in that room, because that's part of our rental fee with the building. Without our knowledge, 4-H's knowledge, without the park's knowledge, Sally's knowledge, the contractor put the water heater in that storage unit, or in that storage room. So that really took away from a lot. We couldn't put the shelving unit down the middle like we were planning, and it cut off some of our other storage space. So the leaders are not happy with that. So they're kind of in they don't want to pay for that because they're losing storage space, or they want that water heater removed and they want the tankless water heater put back in the kitchen, which can't be done because then the park can't, or that kitchen cannot be code kitchen because the tankless water heater does not have the capacity for that kitchen for washing dishes to be code kitchen. So we're kind of at a, what do we do about the water heater in the 4-H building? So I spoke to Garrett at the Fair Board meeting a couple weeks ago. One of our leaders also spoke to him about it, and I forgot to print it off at the office, but I emailed to Sally. One of our other leaders sent a letter regarding the water heater and the issue and everything. She's going to go check to see if it actually came through the email. So that's where we're standing with the water heater. The leaders would like it either moved into and the contractor is finished.
Where was it supposed to be?
It was supposed to be in the, where the mop sink is, where that storage room is.
Who was it?
Who was the contractor? Jacqueline is how we're pronounced. So yeah, he did not contact 4-H. He didn't contact Sally to let us know that he couldn't move that. So his reasoning, from my understanding from Sally, and she can express it better, of course, is that the reason he put the water heater there in the storage room is because he couldn't move that pipe. So he put it there to protect that pipe, which if he contacted somebody, we could have explained to him that it would have been fine that he couldn't move that pipe because we were going to put a shelving unit there anyway. And so that would have substituted for protecting that pipe from getting hit, bang. It's a water pipe.
How far you had?
Pardon?
How far does it have to move?
Well, it has to come out of the storage room and around into the, yeah, I mean, it's just on the other side of the wall, basically.
Well, so he's actually the one that donated his time and everything to do Craigsville Cabin.
Yeah.
So he's coming back. And so maybe that's just something, Sally, that we can, with 4-H's council, is have him relocate that at that time. Because yeah, she showed me when I was here at the Fair Board meeting. I mean, it takes up the whole room. So I understand why 4-H is requesting that.
Yeah, the water lines he ran from the mop sink area across the ceiling through the wall and to the heat pump. So it's not like there's anything extra that has to be done there. You just have to pull it back through the wall, continue across the ceiling and back down.
Right. So it actually shortened the materials that have already been used, not needed anymore.
So if that's okay with, him being able to move that, then we'll look into that.
Sally, can you contact him and ask him if he can do that when he comes back?
Yep.
When's your camp? I'm sorry, I didn't write that.
We come in on Sunday, June 26th, and run until Friday evening, July 1st.
Thank you.
And of course, that's kind of holding up us being able to get everything back from the barn
Right.
into the storage building.
Do you know when Jacqueline plans to begin at Craigsville Cabin, Sally?
No, he hasn't given me a date yet.
Okay. maybe that'd be 2 items to discuss there.
He said he was planning on having a wonderful 4-H camp.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's his goal.
yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
So any objection or concerns with that? So if you wouldn't mind check with him in the morning, let us all know.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Concerning Craigsville Cabin, as we requested, and what we'll do is just pass this around. This is the
Interior.
the design that he's wanting to propose he do when he redoes Craigsville Cabin on the outside fireplace. And if you'll look at the second page, you'll see the stone that he wants to do. And it's just it's stone over the fireplace, leaving the brick inside the fireplace, and then
Wood.
a wood tongue and groove basically on both sides. So everybody can take a look at
Is
that.
that actually a functioning fireplace?
No,
It is not.
the fact the chimney's gone. Also, I forgot to mention, which I guess get down with this, but Chris, the, metal that he wants to donate for the shelter.
Yeah.
He wanted to know if we could help him on labor costs for you guys.
Well, yeah, well, we just need to explain the whole
Yeah, he's
situation.
supposed to send me something.
Okay. Now, 4-H, being the predominant user of the cabins, I mean, what do you think?
I like it, yeah. It
It's
would be
fine with
nice.
you all?
Yeah.
I mean, I think, I thought he was gonna do a lot more
Real long.
of a change, but
Yeah, I think, because that's the original cabin,
Yeah.
not the first cabin on the ground, so yeah, that looks like something that they would have had originally
Yeah.
on the ground, so yeah.
and this is donated, right, Sally, with his work on
Yes.
updating Craigsville?
Yes.
So, yeah, this is a no expense project right there. So, sorry to throw it at you just here now, but he just sent it to Sally a couple days ago. Any concerns or objections to this? Is there a motion to approve this design?
I said,
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
I'll second.
First and second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, the motion does carry.
as a follow-up real quick.
Yes.
He's getting a sign put on the building for that donation. And what's our time frame to get that sign up for him? Like as soon as it's done, we're gonna.
Do we have a company we
signs or-
usually work with?
I only bought like personal plaques, so if you can suggest somebody I could call.
Who did the sign for the memorial? Groves?
Reps.
Reps? Yeah, maybe contact him and Groves and see what they price you.
Okay.
And just tell him it'd be Jacob's, I guess, logo and a couple words of renovated, this renovation is donated by, or however.
Okay.
Because I think we probably don't want to pre-print it just to make sure he gets the work done.
Right.
But.
And also
have
get a
it
design.
Ready to go as soon as possible
Right.
so that it can be posted as soon as it's done.
Absolutely. And get a design too for the board to approve.
Yeah.
So then, because we're gonna set a standard, I guess, for the rest of the cabinets once we get those done.
The murals were done.
Yeah, the murals were updated by the high school art class
Yeah, they look great.
at the
Pool
dining hall
done.
on the pool.
I've seen one before, well, it looked right.
Right, they just touched it up, right. So they definitely look a little better.
We had some paintings donated for the dining hall.
Can we get them?
Sure.
Is all the buildings?
Well, let's do that here in a minute.
Okay.
Is all the buildings and everything taken care of?
Yeah.
As in,
Repairs and?
not the cabins or
Dining hall.
Pine Lodge. And the pool, they're still working on the pool. Everything but the plumbing is done. Just waiting on the bathrooms now at the pool. Go ahead and explain, Sally, what Jakeland offered with the picnic shelter, if you don't mind.
The shelter in front of the 4-H building is, still has shingled roofs. Anyway, Chris with Jakeland was looking at one day and he said that he had enough metal, brown metal, to do that, and he'd like to donate it and put it on, and would just like a little bit of help with paying his guys for doing it.
Yeah, that's not very
On the
good
picnic
shape.
shelter?
Yeah, I've noticed that the last couple of weeks.
It's not that big, I wouldn't think there'd be that much labor involved.
Right. Well, and maybe with the consent of the board, maybe what we do is just go and see what kind of a dollar amount in labor help he's looking for.
Okay, because he hasn't given me that yet, because
Yeah.
I told him I would need that to run
Right.
you guys,
Right.
so,
That's the only thing that would hold me up, is just to see just how much we're looking at.
okay.
Is that okay with everybody? Very good. You had something on the electric?
The outlets
Yeah.
and the main power box, below the red box, that the soccer vendors and the vendors during the fair, that's what they all plug into. It's a mess. So we're gonna have, Mr. Simkin, is that correct?
Yeah.
To look at it
Mhm.
and give us a quote, hopefully, to see if we can fix that.
Well, what you need to do on that is get 3 quotes. And that's probably gonna be a larger expense than what this park commission would like to afford. So maybe we could just, the board might consider, supporting the fair and approaching the commission, the county commission, to.
That's not what he said.
Yeah. Yeah. But just like everything we did here, trying to get 3 quotes.
Yeah, because it is a mess. Most of those outlets on those guardrails, some of the guardrails are gone, and most of those outlets don't even work anymore. And seems like every time those vendors set up down there, there's always an electrical problem. There's not enough amperage.
Yeah, there was for
You're
the
not
soccer.
talking about the boxes, are you? I mean,
The big red box.
yeah,
Basically, everything's good to it,
Right.
but there's no real system beyond for everybody to hook up. And Craig Clemens is a vendor for the fair, he happened to be there, and I talked to him. We talked about, I think it was 4 stations with a 50 amp, 2 120 amps, and maybe even like a 30 amp. And 4 stations spread out down through there, get them off them wooden posts where the post is rotten and there's just electrical thing hanging and everything else. And then that would just be a permanent solution for, wouldn't really benefit 4-H, I guess, but the fair, or the soccer, festivals, what have you.
Golly Fest,
Golly Fest.
Garlic Fest would really use it.
the Easy
Easy
Festival.
coming in.
Yep.
But I'm definitely strongly going to assume that that would be something that we just need to support them going to the commission for. Expense-wise, especially with stuff like the pump going wrong and everything else.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few things going on here.
Do you have somebody else in mind besides Simkin as far as
I just have to
quotes?
look.
Philip Rose did some of the work for platinum roofing at the pool.
Rose
Lusk Electric.
and Lusk.
Who else?
It's on one of those lists.
Harry said Simpkin.
Yep, that's 3.
Well, maybe do a quick search and see if we can find some other local guys.
And give us quotes, and then when we settle on one, then
And what I would do there is have Craig draw out what he told me and you.
do a diagram.
Yeah, so that they know what they're,
Sure.
get your distances and everything.
I can have him do that on Monday.
Very good. Anything else for new business? We do have some special guests with us here today. If you'd like to take the floor and present to the park here.
I am Walker Sawyer from Eagle Scout Troop 107. I'm here to ask about a giant Adirondack chairs Eagle Scout project to put out here somewhere. I got approval from the county commission and now I'm just looking for approval here.
So you want to build a big chair to put up here?
Giant Adirondack chairs somewhere in the park.
Gotcha.
A picture of it.
So like a flat one.
Yeah,
Right.
And where are you thinking about?
undecided. I was hoping to have help decide where to put it.
Gotcha.
Those things are cool.
My first thought is somewhere like the basketball court, skateboard court, somewhere around in there. That,
Yeah, between it and the pool or something like that.
yeah, somewhere where, you're gonna have the kids, you're gonna have the families, you're gonna, get pictures on it.
I'm just saying.
And just for the board's benefit, because I actually went through the same program, explaining what you have to do for your Eagle Scout award here in this project.
I have to simply just create a community service project. Something better for the community. I feel as though it would be a good tourist attraction.
Absolutely.
It would.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
What do you think about across from the pool on the other side of the road, since there's nothing over there?
Does that interfere with any parking from?
No, you're not allowed over in the grass there.
No.
Doesn't mean they don't do it.
There's giant rocks over there.
That's another agenda item, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I think it's a great thing, of course, it's donating materials and everything else, but I think it would be a good addition to the park. Probably, minus the Boy Scout Jamboree coming in to help, probably the first Eagle Scout project here in the park. And so, I'm excited, and
That's cool.
When's the Jamboree?
it's probably not for another year or two.
Yeah, it's,
But just where they came in and helped with the cabins before.
25?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking 25. My husband's an Eagle Scout,
We
so
can't
he
afford
mentions it.
But all you're looking for tonight is just the permission of the park to proceed
Yes.
and get started, so.
I think there's overwhelming support on that. Absolutely. That's awesome.
So is there a motion in the
I'm
favor?
good, I'm good. Sorry.
Motion on the floor,
I'll second.
seconded. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Well, sorry.
Good. What's
I
that?
tried to say something. What is your finishing color plan, or are you gonna come back to us with any of that?
I'll come back.
Okay, that'll work.
So, I'm not really supposed to talk for him, but we have the plans here, so it's got the material that we'll need, but obviously the color is something that we can do last. And we were thinking, whatever color it would be, but adding some signage to it for the park or for the county or whoever.
I was saying you could
Because
put it.
it's a tourist attraction, somebody takes a picture on it, posts it to social media, it's advertising.
Yeah, so you want your name on it.
Yeah.
That's quite an accomplishment to
Yeah.
Yeah, your name's
reach
gonna be on
Eagle
there
Scout.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Well, it should, I mean,
It
that's.
should.
Definitely want you to.
I was thinking, don't they usually have a plaque that
Maybe,
they
yeah,
come
yeah,
say done by?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
that should
Eagle
go
Scout,
on
so
there too.
tree.
Eagle Scout with your name on there.
Yeah,
That's a great idea.
Absolutely. So that being said, that motion is still on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry. So Walker, thank you all for coming in.
Yes.
We look forward to it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
thank you.
Anything else for new business? Our summer help employee did decide that the work was a little bit too much for him. And so you'll see in the Chronicle, we are advertising once again for a summer help position. And those applications are due back on,
End of next week.
so it would be on May the 27th. If you got anybody that's looking for a good summer job,
Please send them up.
Sally's a pretty good person to work for, so tell them to apply. President's comments, I have none. Board comments?
I just want to say we've had some scheduling issues down at our place, and those have been resolved. We're starting a new schedule on Monday, and we'll have people up here as much as we can. We've already got people scheduled for tomorrow.
Yeah, she told me y'all were having trouble.
Well, and I will admit for DRC's sake, Homeland Security did pull on them Monday to help set up for the deputy's funeral and a few other things, and so they've been pretty tied up with county-related stuff too, so they've definitely been working hard. So, anything else? That being said, is there a motion to adjourn this regularly scheduled meeting of the Nicholas County Parks and Recreation Commission? Just for the note, the next meeting will be on June 16th, 7 p.m. Is there a motion? Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those against, the motion does carry. We stand adjourned.